Hey everyone, it's me. Welcome back to this channel on Narcissism. Today we're going to talk about dark empaths and narcissism. Are they related? Do they overlap? You know what, let's go one better. I'm gonna take a stance here. I think that all narcissists are actually dark empaths. Now before you write me off, hear me out. Let's break this down because I believe that the root of narcissism is deeply connected to empathy. Now if you are new here, I'd like you to please subscribe so you can get notified about my videos which come out every day. Also, I have an invitation for you. Join me in my free email newsletter. I send out a weekly newsletter just to give you more ways to understand narcissism and narcissistic relationships and how to heal from them. And I also teach you how to protect yourself against scams and other nonsense. Here's the link to join and it's down in the description. So let's talk about dark empaths and narcissism. So first off, what is a dark empath? I've spoken about this before but it bears some repeating. A dark empath is someone who has very high levels of emotional intelligence. They're really good at reading people. They're able to tune into what people want, what people need, and they use that to their advantage. Some people call them human vamps because they are experts at sort of sucking the life out of people. They may feel bad after they do that. They may even feel a little guilty, but they don't stop doing it. Dark empaths are really good at making you feel seen, heard, and understood. And then using that information to control you. So they may be aware that they do this and they may even try to rationalize it or minimize it. But ultimately they use your feelings, your thoughts, and your energy to manipulate you and often to feed their own ego. Now, dark empaths are not psychopaths, although there can be some overlap. Dark empaths may struggle with impulse control. They may have difficulty resisting certain things, but they're still able to make decisions that benefit them. At the core, they are motivated by self-preservation and getting their needs met. Unlike psychopaths who tend to act in cold and calculating ways, dark empaths tend to be more charismatic and charming. People tend to like them and find them attractive. The difference between a dark empath and a regular empath is that an empath is someone who takes on the feelings and emotions of others. And instead of being used in a manipulative way, it's generally something that feels burdensome. So when you're around a regular empath, you might feel like, oh, wow, they're so in tune. But a dark empath is similar. They're also in tune. But their ability to tune in is used for decidedly selfish purposes. Okay, now, let's talk about narcissism. As you know, narcissism is a personality style characterized by grandiosity, entitlement, arrogance, and a lack of empathy. People with narcissistic personality style have very low levels of empathy. So they're not able to understand or share in the feelings of another person. So where does that leave us with these dark empaths? I believe that many people who are dark empaths are actually low-level or covert narcissists. They are not full-blown malignant narcissists or grandiose narcissists, but they are definitely narcissistic personalities. And the reason I say that is because most of the folks who identify themselves as dark empaths are quite defensive about it. They may not like the term dark empath. They may push back on it. They may judge themselves for being labeled a dark empath. And that defensiveness is itself a form of narcissism. It reflects the idea that they need to protect their own image and that label is threatening to them. People with narcissistic personality styles can't tolerate labels that reflect badly on them. And the dark empath label can seem negative. They also have a hard time acknowledging any deficits, including the idea that they might be exploiting people or that they might be causing harm. In addition, the term dark empath minimizes the role of power and power differentials in the exploitation that happens in these relationships. People who are dark empaths tend to view themselves as sort of equal to the people that they exploit. But the truth is that they're actually more evolved than the people that they're exploiting. And that gives them a sense of superiority. They see themselves as smarter than the people that they exploit. And again, that is a form of narcissism. In fact, The whole notion that people can be both empaths and narcissistic flies in the face of the reality of narcissistic personality style. Being an empath requires insight and maturity and emotional availability. All qualities that are antithetical to narcissism. So really, I believe that people who are dark empaths are more accurately low-level or covert narcissists, and the empathy stuff is part of a defense system they have built to protect themselves from being accused of being narcissistic. That's why people who are dark empaths get so upset when people accuse them of being narcissists. They are absolutely convinced that they're not narcissistic, that they care about other people, that they really are empathetic. Now, people who are dark empaths may look like empaths on the outside, but underneath the hood, they're really driven by the same forces that drive narcissism. They're driven by a desire to be admired, to be the smartest person in the room, to have people need them and to be superior. Their motivation isn't to help others or to be a friend or to be supportive. Their motivation is to dominate the social landscape and to make sure that they win. The difference between a dark empath and a narcissist is that the dark empath recognizes that they need to hide their deficits. So they will minimize, deny, and rationalize their harmful behavior and the harm that they cause other people. But narcissism is all about entitlement and grandiosity. Even though their behavior is obviously self-serving and exploitative, the dark empath believes that they are actually being generous and helpful. They believe that they are superior but that they are using their smarts for good. People who are dark empaths have contempt for other people. They believe that they are smarter and more capable and more deserving than other people. But because they're so skilled socially, they are able to hide that contempt and present themselves as nice, caring, and even humble. This is why people are often blindsided when they find out that someone who was a dark empath was actually a narcissist. They remember how charming they were, how likable they were, and how they seemed to care about other people. But narcissism is all about hidden agendas, manipulation, and control. And that's what dark empaths do. They use charm and charisma and keen insights into other people to get what they want. But their real agenda is always to put themselves in a superior position and to make sure that their needs get met. When you start to peel back the layers of a dark empath, you start to recognize that they have many of the same characteristics as a narcissist. They're charming, charismatic, and likable on the surface. They're manipulative and controlling underneath. They have a sense of entitlement and they expect people to do things for them. They have a deep need for admiration and validation. They believe that they deserve special treatment and that rules don't apply to them. They feel superior to other people. They believe that they're smarter and more capable than other people. They're envious of other people and they want what other people have. And they're willing to exploit other people in order to get it. They are not accountable for their behavior and they won't take responsibility for it. And they are defensive and dismissive of any accusations of wrongdoing. It can be difficult to spot dark empaths because they're so good at what they do. They're expert people pleasers. They're able to read your emotions and play into them. They know exactly what to say and do to get you to trust them and confide in them. But once you get to know them, you start to notice patterns of manipulation and control. They always seem to know just what to say to make you do what they want. They're able to take advantage of your generosity and kindness. They're able to take advantage of your vulnerability and weakness. And they're able to do it without making you feel like you're being manipulated. Dark empaths are highly skilled at what they do, but it's important to be aware of the signs of narcissism. If you recognize the signs of narcissism in someone who you thought was a dark empath, it can be a wake-up call. It can help you to protect yourself from further manipulation and control. It can help you to set boundaries and to hold them accountable for their behavior. When you recognize the signs of narcissism in a dark empath, it can be painful. It can be confusing and it can be disappointing. But it can also be empowering. It can help you to move forward in your healing journey and to create healthier relationships. Thanks again.